Cool. So let's get started. I want you guys to take some notes with this. So don't need your devices. Get a pen and pencil. Paper. Want paper? I know you guys hate writing, but I like to handwrite. I also want to make sure you guys are listening. All right, I should see books open. I should see pens in hands. Pen, so you can write. You guys, I know I haven't been here for 2 weeks, but you know what the routines are. Brooklyn. All right, so it was over here on Google Classroom. So thanks for reminding me of that, though. So our learning intention for today is to define what energy is and also how it transforms. What we're going to be looking at then for your success criteria is that you can describe what energy is to me and also how it changes. Just to kind of catch you guys up on what you guys were doing. Over the first 2 weeks, Ms. Brooker has assigned some tasks for you guys to learn about energy. What I will do in this lesson is I will go through some of the teaching of what energy is and what those energy transformations are. I will also talk a bit about the assessment so you guys know what we are working towards. And then the plan is for Thursday and Friday for you guys just to polish up the things that were assigned in the first 2 weeks. And I also have one more task for you guys to do. Does that sound like a good plan? Okay. Can I move it? Okay. So things to keep in mind. I just drew the smiley face there so that way I could see if the image was okay. All right. So we are now starting the physics topic. This term is all going to be focused on the idea of physics. Physics is one of the specializations in sciences that you can do next year. It's really looking at, trying to think what's the best way to describe physics. Find a definition. So physics is looking at understanding nature and its properties, looking at matter and energy as the main kind of components. So when I say nature, I'm not talking about nature in a sense of like growing trees and animals. I'm talking about what is happening in our natural environment and trying to explain what we observe that's occurring. So physics can deal with things such as forces in motion. It can deal with things like electricity. It can deal with things like heat, magnetism, all sorts of things like that. If you are planning to do anything that is like engineering related, please don't waste this time that you have with me. We are trying to give you guys the best solution. All right. If you are planning to go into doing some engineering stuff at university or you want to become an engineer, physics is a really important topic to be able to do that. So do keep that in mind. We have 2 physics standards that we're going to be doing for this. We're going to do this internal, looking at applications of physics, and then you guys will be doing an investigation that is related to physics. When it comes to physics, we look at it in 2 ways. So we explore physics in 2 ways. The first way that we explore physics is by energy. And the second way that we explore it is by looking at forces. Energy is a far more difficult concept to kind of comprehend. So I want to talk about forces. You guys did that in the junior school. What do you guys remember about force?
Gravity.
Yep, gravity is an example of a force. There are two different ways you can exert a force. What are the two different ways? Do you remember? Push and pull something. So that's what we're thinking about when we are thinking about our forces. Energy, however, is a more abstract idea. So what do you guys think of when you hear the word energy?
Light.
Think about light, which is a type of energy. What else?
Kinetic.
Kinetic energy. So what do you remember kinetic being? Heat? Yeah. What else? Electrical energy. So we can list different types of energy. You guys. But if I was trying to explain like what energy is, what would you say?
Light.
You give me examples. It's a source.
What did we do? Energy with popcorn.
You did energy with popcorn. We talked about it in the form of electricity. Yeah. All right. Energy is a really abstract idea. We can't directly observe energy. The way we see energy is by seeing how it is transferred from one object to another. When we define energy as an idea, we are talking about the ability to do work, so to do something. So energy is the ability to do work. When it comes to energy, we cannot observe it directly. So what we do when we want to learn about energy and to understand how it works is that we look to see how it is being transferred. So that's how we can keep an idea of that. Yes, it is. Yeah. All right. So, all right. Next thing I will talk about then is might show you guys some of the things you guys have been working on. So if you guys remember, oh, I found it. Great. I found these guys out. Here's my pal here. Hold your concussion break. So, show you guys this. All right. One of the tasks that you guys did with the reliever is looking at the forms of energy and looking at how they fall into two different categories. Potential energy is energy that currently cannot do anything. It is just stored energy. And then kinetic energy, also known as active energy, is stuff that can do work. So we can observe it through things moving or through noise or through, electrical appliances working. So you guys have started to do some of these tasks. So let me now talk a little bit about the assessment. All right, so let's talk about what this assessment is going to be about. So just for you guys to keep in mind, this is an internal. Let me double check that for you. I think it might be 4, but I might be incorrect. Oh, sorry, only 2. I'm sorry.
Easy, like,
It is relatively easy. All right. So for this assessment, it's internal, it's 2 credits. What we're looking at is application of physics. So we're looking at if you understand physics ideas and things like that. What you're going to be looking at are a variety of different examples of energy transformations. So just to kind of run you guys through what the achieved, merit, and excellence is. For the achieved, what I am looking for is that you are collecting. All right. So for the achieved, what I'm looking for is if you can collect data. Basically what you're going to have is, we'll do a couple of practice ones, but we're going to be looking at a toy and understanding how that toy works. So first thing is collecting data. Say, for example, if you throw a ball harder onto the ground, what's going to happen to its bounce height? It's going to go higher, is it going to go lower, that sort of thing. So the first thing we're looking at is collecting data. The second thing you need to do for an achieved is describing the energy changes. So basically understanding how is that energy transforming? What did it start with and what is it ending with? The last thing you need to do for the achieved is suggest an improvement. So how can we make this toy better so that way it does a better job? Are you okay with that so far? Keep going. All right, for the merit then, is basically looking at this last bullet point, the suggested improvement. Now, if you want to get this up to a merit, what I need you to do is expand on that suggested improvement, and I need you guys to explain why it's an improvement. Is an improvement. And what I need you guys to think about with that improvement is we need to justify it in the terms of physics. So there's 2 different things you can use for how you improve it. The first way you can improve it is by adding more energy at the beginning. The second thing you can do is having a more efficient energy transfer, so we have less energy loss. So that's how you get it up to a merit, is just giving me an explanation to what you've decided. All right, and then for the excellence, you are, again, taking this idea, but now you are justifying it. So justify your suggestion with linkage to forces. So starting next week, we will do an example write-up so you guys can see what the expectation is for this internal. We'll do a couple of practices so you guys can get the hang of it and just kind of see what is expected. But that's what we're looking at for this assessment. And you're basically looking at a variety of different toys with each practice, try to understand what's happening with the physics behind it. All right? So we're looking at things like rubber bands, pole jumping, bungee jumping, that sort of stuff as our examples. Cool. All right, just watching our time because I think we end at 25. Check my phone. Yeah, we end at 25. All right, I'll give you guys a break from me talking. I will pass out your come on, brain, your incident report so you guys can see how you did on that. And then I will give you guys the last activity. All right. We have about 10 minutes, so I want to give you guys a chance to look at the various kind of toys on that sheet and talk about energy transformation.
Can I see a sticky ball?
This is a sticky ball.
Yes, sticky thing.
Hold it. All right. Listening up. So I want to make sure in the last 10 minutes you guys have a chance to kind of look at all the toys. I will not be leaving the toys with the reliever, so we do need to look at them today, and then you guys can finish the worksheet on the Thursday, Friday. So I will do one as an example, and that's the sticky pink ball, which is this one here. I'm going to throw it against the board, and we're going to make some observations on what happens to it. Oh, it rolls. It was ideally supposed to stick to the board first, though. Nope. And then it fell. Maybe if I just stick it on the wall. What happened? Oh, it's so much stickier. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Alright. Because we touched it too much. We got too many of the oils on there. Alright. So, I am sticking this to the board. Hopefully it'll stay for a little while on there. And I want it to hopefully roll down the board. Let me go see if I can find another one. Hey. Alright, hopefully this one works better. There we go. No, because the bell's gonna go through. Where did that blue go? There it is. Guys, come on. I know there's only 10 minutes left. Oh my. I'm only with you guys once a week. I'm trying to get as much out of it as possible. I also think you guys can be a little bit more understanding. I still have a concussion that I'm trying to recover from. I don't need extra stress on my brain. I have limited brain capacity each day. I want to make sure I'm using it well. What's that? Brain power. Otherwise, I get very tired. I get very grouchy. I only probably have a couple hours each day when my brain's actually working properly. I'm trying to use a little power in the test. My brain's not working. I get really sleepy. I get really grouchy, and I can't think. And right now, I'm already starting to get a headache. one here is I have a little pink, or in this case a blue kind of sticky ball that I've spun against the board. Sticky ball. And what do we notice happens to it? It falls to the ground, but it sticks. But it sticks a little bit and then it falls. So what sort of energy are we starting with when the sticky ball is first on the board? Could be Alaska. What else? Okay. All right. So one of the things you need to be able to do for the achieved is you need to be stating things like what the energy transformations are. What are we starting with? When I threw the sticky against the board, we noticed that it started to roll down the board. So when it's at the top of the board, what type of energy does it have? Potential, so specifically gravitational potential. Yeah. So when it's sitting at the top of the board, we can't currently see that energy that it has. We can only see the energy once it's getting transferred. When it starts rolling down the board, what type of energy is that then? Think about that list you were given the other day. We had a whole list of things here that were active forms of energy, like thermal, radiant, motion, sound, electrical. Which one is it? All right, so we started with the gravitational potential energy because it was at the top of the board. It started to roll down. These are our motion. So we take that gravitational potential energy. I'm going to abbreviate it. And we've turned it into motion. All right? Okay. So there are 7 others. Some of them have toys. What you guys can do is you can come up and borrow one of the toys, make some observations, return it, try the next one. You don't have to write down your observations right now. I just want you guys to kind of see the toys and kind of figure out what the energy transfers are. So I think the spiky ball is number 3.